Hey, y'all. Oh, with y'all today.
I love the mouth moving on that. I thought you had Tourette's for a minute. Either that or you were getting Bell's palsy in your face.
Oh, that was a good belly laugh to start the day. Welcome, everybody, to another lovely sit-down recording session of the Double BS Podcast. With your wonderful host, the Shmoo, and my man who's struggling over here, Matty Van.
And a special guest, Maggie, tonight.
Oh, Maggie's here, so...
The lovely Maggie is here to save me because I swear to God I want to dip a rag in this and go polish my furniture.
Oh, it's not that bad, you big girl. So,
hey,
tonight...
it's my taste buds, not your taste buds, jackass.
Tonight, of course, is, as I put on Facebook earlier, is a two-part recording of...
beer.
We're going to start with growing up, small town, of course, Iowa. But, you know, small town this area. And we're going to then, part two will be growing up Midwest, kind of how the growing up in a small town Iowa that translates into growing up in the Midwest. So, of course, we start every episode the same way. Today we're going to do it a little bit different.
Yeah, because you're going to get a 0.
That's okay. It was a shot. It was one of those, I taste a lot of the orange juice, so I thought maybe that was the okay. Again, my taste was not yours, so I apologize.
I taste a lot of the lacquer.
They make it with turpentine.
Yeah.
So the beer that we're discussing, I'm doing the same thing because I like it. It's a real nice surprise. Like really, that's what.
Yeah, it was a real nice surprise to my taste buds.
From Big Grove Brewery over in Solon, Iowa.
And I like Big Grove.
Another
no disrespect.
small town. I should have got you a mimosa. Do you want a mimosa?
No disrespect.
I got the mimosa one in there. Could
No.
hook you up. Okay.
I'm good. Thank you.
So tonight's a little different for us.
I do like mimosas by the pool.
This is one of those when we do our double episodes, we actually record them in the same night. This will be part 1. We'll take a break. We'll record part 2. Of course, this is the first time the three of us have been together for a recording in...
A month.
Yeah, about a month. About
a month and a half.
Yeah, a month and a half, yeah.
Because, December 7th.
December 7th.
Was when we all got COVID together.
Negative.
Yeah.
You guys got the Rona.
Well, no, it was December 7th?
Yeah.
Because it was a Monday night.
And then the Wednesday you called me and I had to...
Well, it was Monday night when we recorded. It was Tuesday morning at 2 a.m. when I woke up like this. Hey, Hulk Hogan's about to body slam you. Yeah. You're in pain. And I'm like, what is going on?
See, I didn't feel bad until that Sunday.
See, and I was at work in the John. And
by Sunday,
called.
I was fine.
I think you text me, hey, call me right away. And you never text me that. Like, ever. I'm like, oh. So, it was like, call you right there. So I'm like, well, I guess I'll finish up in here. And then it was get the heck out of work. So, but a little bittersweet, if you will. Of course, as you know, we're all grown adults. We all have lives. Of course, Maddie and I being a little bit older. Maddie pushing 40. I've already cleared.
Whoa.
Pushing. You're not there yet.
How am I pushing 40?
How old are you right now?
37. That's not pushing 40.
Approaching.
That's not pushing 40.
You're approaching.
Pushing 40 is
He's
like
closer to 35 than 40.
39.
Right, so
well,
you're approaching.
4 months I'll be 38.
We'll say approaching.
But
40.
pushing 40 is like I'm in my 39 and 40's coming within the next few months.
That's like
Kiss my
I'm
ass.
pushing 30.
You're over 40. Don't be pushing that crap on me.
I'm 40 in 4 months.
Yeah, don't be pushing that crap on me. Okay? I got 2 years and about 4 months left over. Don't do that.
40's okay, kids. I tell you.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not age shaming your old ass. However, do not push that on me. I got a ways to go yet.
Manny, of course, in the later part of his 30s. I have clearly come over the hill, and my brain has gone. So I
later part of my 30s. Now I think that's worse than pushing 40.
Well, you done screwed up. Maggie, of course, still lovely and in her early 20s. I mean, she's like about what, 22, 23?
Oh.
I'm pushing 24.
Oh my God.
I'll be 24.
Oh
in
my
April.
God.
Now the advantage. Of
I didn't
course,
feel old until that.
Yeah. So the advantage that we've had throughout this little over 3 months in that we've had really is having Maggie on board and her youth and her kind of her excitement, being a little more into the podcast world than we are, and kind of having that insight to that generation. So it's almost like we have 2 generations worth of kind of we're pulling from. But what does come with the territory, of course, when you get Matt's age, you get my age, we've gone through life a little bit longer. We've had some opportunities. We've got, we've been able to find stable jobs and things like that. So
yeah, you're established.
yeah, so we can just kind of do our thing. Maggie, of course, being the young woman that she is still getting into that. So it was with sad news, and there may have been a couple
But
tears
before you
tonight.
go there,
Oh, we're gonna go there.
I mean,
Oh,
before you go
okay.
there, because it's like I like how she called us established.
Yeah.
Like, not so much established as we are set. Like
Yeah.
we have what we have, and it's like this. Right now, we have the responsibilities that we have to do what we have
Yeah.
to do.
But you're comfortable in those responsibilities.
We've got several years.
Yes.
We have
Yeah.
several more years of doing that.
Yes.
We've
yes.
we've been training through that process.
And the
Whereas
one thing
I'm-
that I teach my kids and all the time, and I'll tell you before you have kids, and I understand that you probably kids is in your future and whatnot, explore and find out what you want to do because you're still at a young age where you can do that. We are way past that age. I think I have a kid that's old.
Hey, now
I think I have a child.
I'm exploring hot sauces.
I explore barbecue rubs.
I got some hot sauces.
I got some barbecue rubs.
Well, then we're gonna.
Oh, we could get on. We can get
Meanwhile,
IQ over here, and we
We're
can
gonna,
do.
I think we're gonna get IQ over here.
We do. My brother said something
We're
about
gonna
a
get
cold
when it
smoke.
works for you guys. Get Greg over here because Greg, of course. So that would be like I would say like the 3 levels of smoking, and I would almost bring Tony in too.
Tony said something to me the other day
So like
about
Tony and IQ.
cold smoking, and I remember
Yeah.
I was like this.
And IQ said something. About
Yeah, and
that.
I was like this. Oh God, I got to get you and IQ together.
And Greg is new-ish. I wouldn't say new anymore because he's.
I think we got to bring Steve in.
Mhm.
We're gonna just do an episode on.
I think you got to bring
smoking.
Steve in because Steve's got some stuff. I mean, he just did some. We follow all
That could
pretty
almost
much
be
the
like a
same people.
record
But
/ Facebook Live.
That'd
Combo.
that would be
That'd
one of our.
fun.
I think that would
That'd
be
be a
a.
lot of
So we'll do that come springtime.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like a smoke off.
But anyway, before we go,
But I think But by the way, I think I have a child that is his. I mean, the year he was born, or how old he is. He's 15.
yeah,
I don't know where I'm going with this,
I
but
don't know. Usually you have that like that look in your eye, like I know where I'm going. Here I go. You just.
I had the math done in my head and it was gone.
Well, you think about it for a second.
That
don't
was
want to.
Matt's first senile moment.
It happens.
It's recorded
push
for
it
everyone to
40.
hear.
Pushing 40. Oh yeah, I'm getting a look at that.
When you get on your bike in the spring and the tires are slashed, call AAA.
No, you didn't. But anyway.
No,
before
I
we-
really didn't.
Before we get into some
At least
fun,
as far as tape will tell.
tonight, a little bittersweet today, but in a good way, I think. So Maggie, of course, being young and just kind of entering into what I would consider the adventurous part of life, kind of getting that real first career, and of course her lovely fiance Greg, the man who can put down a couple Guinnesses with the best of us. And they've got crazy lives going on. So it was with kind of a heavy heart she came in tonight. We were all, of course, me and Matt were like, yeah, Maggie's here. We're not going to sound so stupid. And she's like, well, I got
Yeah,
to
we
take
were.
some time, and I got this to figure out. And it's like, well, shit. But that's
No,
okay. That's okay.
It wasn't. It was go do
Because-
your thing.
Yeah.
This
we're
should
very-
be the last
Yeah.
thing you worry about.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
are just an extra curricular activity that we like to have fun with, and we love that you are a part of it.
Yeah.
But when you have home life and work life to take care of, that is way more important than this. It's not a heavy heart. It's all right.
And I
Well,
think that's kind of part of. the
Don't ever
magic
think
of
you
it,
are
where-
not a part of this.
Yeah.
You will always be welcome in this.
Yeah,
room.
I think, and when she comes down to say, hey, I can't do this anymore, I look at her more like, listen, she's taking some time. And hopefully, down the road, things kind of click back together. And maybe it's not all the time, but maybe it's more of a, come in and be on the show. I mean, maybe,
I would love that.
maybe a little more of that. And then myself and Matt, okay, let's say that correct. Myself takes over the editing and up.
Well-
Because look at Matt, he's like, what? I'm going to do what?
I know you're gonna
Um,
laugh at me when I say this, but
listen,
do you ever watch Colin Cowherd?
No,
Like his show?
no.
It's the Colin Cowherd show. It's the Herd,
I know what it is.
and he has Joy Taylor with him.
For the millionth time, I
It's
hate
Joy.
Colin Cowherd.
It's Joy Taylor. How do you hate Colin Cowherd?
just-
I mean, I don't like
I
Colin
hate him
Cowherd either.
too.
I
Thank
watch
you.
the show specifically. Colin, if you're listening,
You suck.
I watch your show specifically
You suck.
for Joy Taylor.
Keep talking shit about the hot guys. I'll
I
still hate
love
you
Joy
forever.
Taylor. She's amazing.
Colin
But
Cowherd's a dirty word in this.
he
shit.
has it's him and Joy.
Yeah.
Like when you have the Pat McAfee show, you have Pat, and then he has his guest, but then he also has his 2 guys over there. I think we have our own show, Maggie sitting off to the side, like she just provides insight. She does the news, and she does all of this. It's all
Maggie
one
will
thing.
never sit off to the side.
Not
with us.
you don't understand what
She
I mean.
will be in the triangle of truth.
All right, moving on.
There is no way to describe this friendship and partnership
No.
that we have in a
Moving
good
on.
way if it's coming out of Pete's mouth.
No, it's not.
Did you just look at me and say the triangle
The
of
triangle
truth? What
of
is this, the
truth.
National Book of Secrets?
It could be.
Don't do that.
But no, and I think maybe that's a cool, different way of doing things now. I think, I'm going to take over the editing. She's already showed me some things. I'm feeling fairly confident.
You're gonna have to write it down.
She's gonna, and that's why I say I feel fairly confident. She's gonna write it down, and then we're gonna go through what she's gonna show me this week. And then I'm gonna take that over and keep that going. So I think what's gonna be nice now is we're gonna take that burden away from Maggie, and hopefully, as her schedule and with Greg's schedule and things,
As I become more established.
yes.
As the yin comes into the yang.
'Cause it's never going to be not as busy, but I'll be more comfortable with the busy, and I'll understand the busy and be able to manage the busy.
I think it's not as managing, as long as it balances out. Like,
Yeah.
you don't expend too much time to your work. I mean, you don't expend too much time because you can't, trust me, you can expand too much time into your family life.
Yes.
Where it's like, I need a break. Like, I love my kids, I love my wife, I love all this, and it's like this. Like, you still have to have time for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
So, whether that's time for yourself is here, or whether that's time for yourself is anywhere else doing whatever, you still have to have time for you. Whether that's reading a book, which I love to do, watching your favorite show by yourself, drinking a glass of wine while your husband's at work, or doing whatever. You still have to have time for yourself. So.
Yes.
Well, and I've actually kind of found cycling, and I found going to cycle class is kind of like my now personal time, and it's been kind of good because I am not.
Is that like a spinning class?
Yeah, I am not an athlete, and you don't have to be, and it is so much fun.
We were athletes at one time.
Yeah,
I mean,
kind of. Me too.
I still
I played lacrosse for a semester in
play
college.
softball.
No,
I'm not looking forward to next year.
we play softball. We don't.
Wow.
You drink on a field.
We don't play softball. We participate
Yes.
in a softball game.
Yes.
and we drink beer, literally all the time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's okay.
And it's fun. I mean, don't get me
yeah.
wrong. It's more, and I love softball with all of us. It's more around the camaraderie with the guys
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
and being up
It's
there
that
with your
last
friends.
little bit of, as you get older. It's like,
That's
okay,
the time too. That's
we
that's
grew
our
up,
getaway.
Yeah, well,
That's-
we grew up playing sports. Like, we were in sports in high school, played sports in college. I'm like, okay, that's like the last. Listen, I'm not getting any younger. I want to still be able to compete at a high level, but I'm like,
The competition is
My-
definitely a part of it.
my
Definitely.
body
Yeah.
can't
Because you
handle
watch-
high level anymore. So
You watch the
beer league softball is where I got to be.
the temperatures rise and the heated
Oh, yeah.
discussions. I don't
Oh,
want to
yeah.
call them fights because it's like this. All
Yeah.
right, calm down. It's softball.
Yes.
But
So-
you're still competitive edge.
Yeah.
Your body doesn't
Within-
have
yeah,
that,
within
but your
reason
your
to-
mind has it. Your body doesn't have
Yeah.
it. But you
I've gotten
still want to have
I've
that
gotten to
heat.
the point where my competitiveness is in my brain.
Right.
When I'm playing, my competitiveness has to talk to my body first. Like, okay, where are we at today?
Wish they would've done that.
Like, what can we do? Okay, this is what we're okay, cool. You're playing first. Stand there. Don't be stupid.
Wish
that's-
you would've had
that's
that
why I go to
conversation.
cycle class at
Yeah.
5:30 a.m. because I don't have time to talk myself out of it. I
Gotcha.
go and I hate myself on the drive there,
I tried doing that at
and then
CrossFit
I
once. That's what
have
I did.
a ton of fun, and then I'm done for the day, and I've done something to better myself already at 6 a.m.
I wish my mind would have had that conversation with my body a couple years ago
Right. I tried it at CrossFit a few years ago.
on that
Yeah.
dive
Hate
into
CrossFit.
the
Horrible idea.
Hate CrossFit.
left center field that
I've
left
tried
my
it too, it's
shoulder
not good.
separated. That
So,
was fun. by the way.
as we as we usually do, we've gone off the rails. But that's okay.
I don't think we have rails. We have
We
general
don't.
guidelines and
We have
cones.
the
And
most basic of road maps ever that basically says
we look
point
like
A, point
Mr.
B, and there's nothing in
Magoo.
between.
We look like Mr. Magoo behind the wheel and cones. We're just running them over. And
Fair enough.
that
So
way.
I would extend this invite on behalf of myself and I know Maddie, Maggie. We would not be where we are at this
No.
point without you. And I know you've got life and you've got things that you have to take care of, and we totally love that and respect that. So I would leave at this juncture an open invite to any episode we record. I don't care what it is. If you're available, you want to come, you come. We
Alrighty.
would love to have you on here. And there, my friends, it takes care of our female audience a little bit more, I think. Because I think Maggie can kind of help us.
I think she
Into
should.
that
I don't
one.
think I wouldn't consider ever consider her like a guest. It's just like a guest host.
Yeah.
At any point in time,
Look, this is Maggie. I guess not really guess.
you're just like a host.
Maggie's a part of this.
Yeah,
It's
she's
just-
a host.
She's not here all the time. She's just here when she can.
All right, let's start tonight.
Word.
I grew up in a small town in Iowa.
Which
I've
small
got a
town?
lot to say.
Which small town?
Yeah.
I grew up in Zeering, Iowa. We had 600 people population.
Ooh, that's smaller than.
I had a
smaller.
crush on a girl in college that was from Zeering, Iowa. Fun fact.
I have no
I'll
idea
have
where
you
that's
tell
at.
me her name later, because I probably know them.
It's possible. I don't know. I'm kind of old. So of course, you know, me and Matt.
Yeah.
Of course, we both grew up right here in
You
Clinton,
gotta remember,
Iowa.
he was getting into high school by the time you were born.
Yeah, and what year were you born?
97.
97. I was,
Oh, what were you, a sophomore?
Yep.
Oh man, I was just coming out of 8th grade, I believe.
my wife was 10.
Oh,
Well, there you go.
well, we've garnered into some information we didn't.
But
know.
and I think for Matt
Yo,
and
we don't
I,
wanna do that.
that's a story for another day.
No, it's not.
I mean, we can talk about
No, he's in here
You
to
could talk
it
about
at all.
that. You could talk about that
that.
by yourself
No,
in the dark.
Okay, small town. Let's go.
this is what we
Do
do.
what you want,
So,
bro.
and I think Maggie would fall into like that. That's an actual small town. I lived for many years in Gilbert, Iowa, very small town.
Not that small.
Where me and Maddie grew up, Clinton. I mean, we what 28, 30,000 people. Probably 25 when we were growing up. somewhere
Yeah, I
in
would
that
say when we were growing up in the mid 90s, somewhere between 25, 26.
Yeah.
It's now we're in the 32,
Yeah.
33 range.
But still,
I mean, I'm just.
it's a
guessing,
very
I don't
unique
know.
town. You know, I've lived in Ames. I've lived in Cedar Rapids. I've you know been out to Des Moines. It's a medium sized town by numbers, but by
Yeah.
the way people act and or interact, it's so.
It's small town USA.
But at the same time, though, we're so
Huge.
close to Des Moines. We're so close to
Yeah.
Chicago. We're so close to like St.
Davenport,
Louis, things like that.
Duke, Cedar
We're
Rapids.
in such
Yeah.
that we get such a mix of that, and I don't want to say podunk,
Socioeconomic.
but like just a small
racial.
town, you know everybody,
Yeah.
you know this, but at the same time, listen, we bop over to Chicago and get into the coolest stuff in 2.5 hours. So a very unique
Well,
experience.
I mean, I don't think we're part of the Quad Cities, but I believe we're close enough to part of the Quad Cities.
Yeah.
Like we're not as big as Davenport, Moline, Bettendorf, or anything like that, but we're in the same, like you said, retrospect where we can go to Davenport or Bettendorf.
We kinda get the
40
best of
minutes.
both
We can go to
Yeah.
Chicago,
you know,
Milwaukee, or anywhere. We're equal distance. Des Moines 3 hours, Chicago 3 hours. You know, Cedar Rapids 45 minutes, Iowa City 90 minutes. So like we can go anywhere.
Cedar Rapids 45 minutes. Damn,
Yeah, it's an hour and a half.
about an hour and a half.
Hour and 45 minutes.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute.
It's about an hour
Unless
and
you're my
20.
brother,
Okay, well there you go.
he made it there in 45 minutes.
But I think
Made it home in 45 minutes.
what's nice about Clinton is, which is weird to say, but we very much have that small town. Like
River.
I'm telling you right now,
Yeah.
I could walk into the police station. I can right now walk into the police station and know probably at least half of the guys on duty. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? You know, I could
Yeah.
walk into any fire station in
I
town.
could have done that years ago.
And
I can't now.
I could say, hey, how we doing? You know, this, that, whatever. You know, I could be, you know, what was it, yesterday? Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. I was heading down to Hy-Vee. Gonna pick up some beers. I was going to work. And I saw an officer, and it was weird because I used to work with him at Billion Automotive. Well, McElhaney Motors.
Well,
And
okay.
now he's a cop. And his dad is also a cop, and there's a connection there.
So-
it's like, hey, how you doing? You know,
I get that, but
we
I
get
want
very
you
much
to-
like, hey, how you doing?
I want you to think of something and where we grew up, because your parents used to do the same thing. Okay, when you were growing up, and your parents probably did the same thing in the town you were at. You could probably do the same thing in the town and you grew up in now. Look at our age. Most of the time, you run into anybody you know. You either graduated high school with them. They were within 4 years of you graduating high school. Either way, you knew who they were. They have kids your age. You have kids their age. You're all
Interconnected.
like interconnected. You're in that centralized community now. It's like this. We're now that group. Like our parents
Yeah.
are. They know everybody. Jesus, I mean, they know everybody, and they don't know the kids, but they know all the parents, and I'm pretty sure they
absolutely.
know some of the kids. But we're now into that group that knows everybody.
Well, I
I
think-
know parents of kids that it's just because my kid's friends with their kids. I didn't know them growing up, but I still have all the people that I grew up with, and now I'm more intertwined in this community than I ever was growing up, just because of my role as a parent,
Yep.
in my job, and everything. Like the age that we are now is just, it makes it, to me, I don't want to say more small town, but it does make it more small town to where I know everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't.
So
I treat everybody with respect, and I try to. And it's like this: if I like you, I mean, we're everybody's good.
Yeah.
But if you want to sit there and chat, I'll sit there and chat with you. My father had the ability to talk to anybody and everybody for hours. If you walk into Walmart with him, you'd never get to leave. You just go out to the car.
I believe it.
He'll be there in a minute.
Kind of where
now,
Greg and I are getting.
that's me.
Mm-hmm.
I walk in there, I find somebody, and Brady's
Oh
like,
yeah,
this.
I can't. Yeah.
Oh, can
My
we
wife
go? And
hates
I'm like,
going anywhere in public with me.
yeah, I can't do it.
Maggie's got to be going through the same thing with Greg being in the fire department.
Yeah, she's like, do you
Yeah,
know
what
that?
about a
we're
year
in
and a half
that
now?
process. Yeah.
Like Gary, it.
Yeah.
Well, now of course with me,
Our world has expanded
yeah.
Oh,
exponentially.
you're in the
also
customer
shrunk
service.
down.
Well, yeah. Now with me now, I mean,
Yeah.
so you go back even, working in.
Billion.
When I was with Clinton Auto, so you go Clinton Auto Group, then you go Mac Ladies, it became Billion. I'm at the Harley shop, and I was at Verizon.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of connections there, and my wife used to hate that when she moved to town.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, oh my God, I can't go anywhere. I can't go to work and not run into 10 people you know.
Okay, she can't.
And-
She can't.
but
even
so she-
love
So
her
here's the
job
thing, though.
now that you know me.
The funny part is she's been at the Clinton Fairway for long enough now.
That people know her.
She's that person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Like it used to be like when people are like, oh, your wife works at Fairway? Yeah. And I'd have to describe her. But yeah, it's like, now it's to the point where like, oh yeah, your wife works at Fairway? Yeah. Yeah, she's like, it's like a quick descriptor, bam, they know who she is.
Greg and I did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
When we first moved here, everyone knew Greg, and I would introduce myself. And now I've worked at 2 nursing homes in the area. I was very closely connected to the hospital. I was working in the hospital for the nursing homes, and I've met so many people through that now people recognize me, and Greg is going, oh, hi, my name's Greg. It's just, it's crazy how that's the same.
Oh yeah. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
And again, I think that's truly, I mean,
I think I recommend
You
more
go-
people
you
to
go
your
into,
wife
like-
than I do to you.
like you go like into Davenport, you go into somebody, Cedar Rapids, you still have that to some level.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have it to the level that you do here. And like you were saying with you and where we are, like our parents and stuff like that, I think the same thing, and I think this has got to be more of a small town thing. I'm at the age now, like, and I'll use command states as the example. My dad will go down there, my mom and dad will go down there. I'm like, oh, this is like a burst class reunion or something. And I know half the people in their graduating class. My dad will have, his buddy Rick from California come out. Every year he comes out for command states. He comes over to watch us play command state softball.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny because I'm at the point now where, like, I have a lot of memories of, I've heard a lot of stories about these people,
Mm-hmm.
but I also have my own memories with these people. Like, I'm going to use Rick. Rick Serra, good dude, used to work for KROS. And the first song I ever requested on the radio was Thunder Rolls by Garth Brooks on KROS. It was the coolest thing ever. Coolest thing ever.
So I have a question for you guys.
What do you got?
Did you have the same teachers that your parents and or aunts and uncles?
Some.
No.
Because I did.
Some. Like,
See,
Yeah.
he was the oldest.
yeah,
I mean,
so you gotta remember,
you
so
and
with
Becky.
my parents,
I was the youngest.
they graduated in like the 70s.
I think I might have had one.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came in, the few that I had
Mm-hmm.
were like, they were new teachers
Yeah.
as my folks were leaving.
Okay.
So
Wow.
Yeah.
like there was a gym teacher
Mm-hmm.
that was a brand new gym teacher when my mom was there.
Mhm.
She would tell me stories. Mr. Pinkney. My dad was.
Why do you point at me when I say
Student
I have no
teacher.
idea what that is?
You know who Mike Pinkney is? Owen Pinkney and Evans?
I know who he is now.
We're gonna have a conversation.
Not as
about
a
this.
not as a teacher.
But he was, and my dad.
Great. I didn't.
When my
I
dad
didn't
did
have,
his student teaching, Mike Pinkney was one of his students. So like, I don't think you get that a lot in your bigger towns.
No, I mean I grew up.
Well,
I was known
think
as
that's very-
Sean McLeod's niece.
I have a story for you. Like, so
Oh yeah, my sister had. Oh, your Pete's sister.
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah,
I was
those-
known as their niece.
the third grade teacher right now, one of the third grade teachers at Eagle Heights, her name is Mrs. Cruthis. When her first year of teaching, she wasn't married. Her name was Miss Fanner. She was the first year they split Harding Elementary's first grade class into 2 classes, Mrs. McDonald and Miss Fanner. Miss Fanner was my first grade teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I got to 3rd grade, she had got her own 3rd grade class, so Mrs. Cruthis was my 3rd grade teacher. She now still teaches 3rd grade. I have yet to have a child have her.
Huh.
Cameron didn't get, wasn't lucky enough to have her, and neither was Brady. I'm hoping next year is Katie's year because she is the sweetest lady. Still talks to me. I love the woman to death. She's one of the sweetest ladies ever. One of the best teachers there. I find it funny because it's like this. However many years is that? Almost 20 years ago? Not even that. No, 30. Oh, my heart just hurt.
I was immediately branded as a dumbass because...
Listen, we established the year that Maggie was born... So if she was, so she'd have been 97, 98.
But I just feel like
I'd have been a junior.
20 years ago would have made me like this year is my, and this year this makes me feel old. This year, 2021 is my 20th high school reunion.
We didn't know.
We didn't do one either.
I don't believe I'm going to go to one because, as I said, and no disrespect to the people that are out there that I still don't talk to. If I have you on Facebook and I chat with you, that's great. If I don't talk with you,
listen,
Facebook has killed high school reunions.
I like to talk.
We'll just have Casey down to here.
I like to talk to the people
and
I
I'll
talk
just
to.
throw you a little.
And I still talk to the people I talk to. Well, there are other people that I probably haven't seen in God knows how long, and I would like to catch up with and sit down and have conversations with. Maybe after 20 years. At 5, 10, 15 years, I was like, yeah, okay.
And I think another one. So you're talking teachers, and I learned this when I went to college. So of course, I went to college in Cedar Rapids.
Well,
so still
before you go,
small. You okay?
I'm going to do this before you go. Remember the high school teachers you had? Same high school teachers I had.
Hold on, I'm going there. Shh. So when I went to college in Cedar Rapids, like of course that was really my first interaction with kids from bigger towns.
Me too.
LA,
Me too.
All over the country.
Chicago.
Yeah, and it was. I would talk about these high school teachers. They're like, who? I invited my kindergarten teacher to my wedding. Our high school band director lives a block away, and when it's nice out, I go up and I talk to him like it was 20 years ago.
Our high school band director played the organ at my wedding.
My high school band director came to my wedding.
No, I had to have Mr. Garrett like this. Hey, you're playing the organ. You have to play the organ. See, we didn't get married
inside, but
at my wedding.
Rob featured him very prominently in his best man speech.
Oh, well, how can you not? He was such an...
To which Dave Gallrap responded in kind, and I'm like...
in the Dave Gallrap way?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Man, I wish
but here again, I think that's...
That's the beauty of small towns.
Well, yeah, you don't get that.
No.
You don't get that.
As I said, think of all the high school teachers you had. Same high school teachers I had.
Yeah.
They don't have those nowadays. It's
not
the same.
No, and I run into those teachers to this day, and I'm like, and you just pick up. And they remember you. I mean, it was... I think for some of us, yourself, myself, we were characters. I think there's probably some kids that go, they go back and, that were just whatever. Mm-hmm. They still remember the word, but I think, you and me are kind of cut from that cloth that we can go to those certain teachers and they're like, yeah, I remember Mad Fath.
It's funny because I understand that, like, my brother has children in high school, or as a daughter in high school. She's a senior now, and my boy's a freshman now, and there's going to be another bath coming up. My niece is going to be coming up next year as a freshman. But when I ran into Danny Pataska at a football game this year, he automatically knew, hey, you got a boy that's 9th grade, don't you? I'm like, yeah, I do. He's like this. Knew that was your son. How'd you know that?
But I think
they haven't talked to you in 20 years.
I think that speaks to that small town Iowa.
But he was one of my favorite teachers there, Mr. Pataska.
Oh, he was a hoot. We egged this house over here for homecoming.
Sorry. I still love, and I call him Danny now because I think I get there.
That's still weird to do that too.
It is.
Like,
and I feel like
here.
I call him Danny because I was like this. I don't want to call you Mr. Pataska because every time I call you Mr. Pataska, just like I said, Mr. Guard or Mr. Helvey, I'm going to get yelled at like this. Call me by my first name. You're old enough to do that. I'm like, yes, I am, but I can't. Like, you were literally one of my first influences into growing up into, like, the actual high school manhood type thing up there.
I still can't buy alcohol in front of my high school teachers. I get so sketched out. I can't do it. I can't do it. I feel like it's illegal and I shouldn't be doing it.
I've drank alcohol.
The only thing I can't do,
but it feels weird.
And I haven't seen him since.
You're still young enough to not.
Was when Mr. Maimon.
I've spent the majority of my life in this stuff, so it's mad. So we're around these people.
Yeah.
Like when I say Dave Gallrap lives right over here.
Yeah.
I've known that since before I lived here. This is this is a thing. Mm-hmm. So and again, and I think we'll get a little more into this when we do the second part of this episode about how I think that's not necessarily a small town Iowa thing, but it's a Midwest thing. I think smaller towns specific, but I think a Midwest thing in whole. But like you're saying, like if I
don't think so.
if I went out to LA and had all these teachers.
No, I get that.
That's what I'm saying. That's
but you're gonna find small towns,
everywhere.
West Coast, East Coast.
But
if
yeah,
you go
I
out
think
to, I
that's a small
guarantee you,
town.
Yeah,
if
but
I
if
bring
I go right now, if I walked up to, and I'll say it to you, if I walk up to Dave Galrap's house right now, there is no way on God's green earth, I don't care what it's Mr. Galrap. He has told me for years to call me by his first name. So is his wife. And it's like, nope.
I can't.
Nope.
Can't do it.
Like Mr. Helvey, I can call
can't.
Mr. Helvey Dustin. I have no problem with that.
I can't.
You know, Mr. Gunzel, you know, my favorite physics teacher.
Wayno?
There are certain teachers that really, I think, the teachers that you had are, you know, hey, Mrs. Oh yeah, whatever. I think the teachers you enjoyed, like the teachers I enjoyed,
You still have that respect.
I can call them by their first name. So like when I go into, like I can say,
Nope, we're gonna go.
you know, teachers I enjoyed having, like Julie Clausen, you know, all these their teachers, Cheryl Kramer. I can refer to them by their first name. I enjoyed their teaching. But the teachers that truly made an impact, I mean, truly made an impact.
See, I'm going to disagree with you.
I think those are the ones.
And I'm not going to disagree with you saying you're wrong.
Yeah,
I'm going to disagree with you.
Like those are the ones. Like this Mr. Garab, I think for both of us, had a profound impact on my life, and that will always be Mr. Garab.
See, this. Okay, I'm going to go in a different route.
That's okay.
I don't mean. I mean no disrespect either way. If you're listening to this, Mr. Galrap to me will always be Mr. Galrap, and it was because he has. I mean, he to me out of high school teachers, he reached the upper echelon. He had that profound of an impact on me as a person. Because I know the profound impact he had on my brother, my sister, my parents. They're all friends, but he was around my parents' age. Mr. Helvey, I think, is just because he was that new teacher.
Gosh,
but he was still close to me. I mean, he was, I think, closer to my age than he was to my parents' age.
Oh yeah.
Like when I called Danny Pataska, Danny.
So yours is
Like
from
this.
like
If he was here, it's Mr. Pataska. Like I can call him Danny without seeing his face, but he was more along the lines of he was my teacher, but he was also my friend because he was young enough to interact with me in the way that I was comfortable with. Right.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Garb was like this. He was serious. I mean, he would have fun, but it was that parent fun, that father fun, that dad joke that poked fun at you, but still had fun and still made you laugh. And he had that respect from me because I respected him as a father figure, as a authoritative figure. There were only so many people in that high school that happened like that.
So
I think one of them was Mr. Michelle,
Yep.
David Galrap, Mr. Galrap, and I think that was about it.
So then that leads me to my next question and kind of explanation of the question. One thing that I think is a quintessentially small town is the vast age range in friend groups. Like my friend group in Ziering ranges from one of my good friends, Jackie Pickle, she's in her 60s, all the way down her kids, their friends, to my age and my sister and our friends.
Yeah.
We all have a group chat. Like, we are all friends. I could hang out with Jackie by herself, and I could hang out with my sister's friend by herself.
Well,
it's just so crazy to think.
Right here.
Yeah.
No,
Right here.
I think it gets worse than it.
You know.
But
I
yeah,
think right here.
that's...
I haven't seen Spike in Lord knows how long. You remember Spike?
Oh yeah.
Mike Schrader?
Oh he comments on my Facebook time to time.
Fuck, I haven't seen Spike in forever, but Spike
How
was one
old
of
is
my...
He's old.
He's got to be in his 60s by now.
Yeah.
If not real close. But it was like, I think I was in my early 20s. He was in his late 40s, early 50s.
Mm-hmm.
But Spike was just one of them guys. He was one of the guys.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
he was just, it was just,
group.
we connected in that, and we had fun, and I loved the man to death. Hope he's doing well, Spike, if you're listening.
And
I hope you're doing well.
Or drinking age is really when you reach that range of, okay, I'm in the friend group. Like,
Yes.
we're all friends. I
Yeah.
can hang out with anyone. I'm not a high schooler anymore.
Yeah.
We're all friends.
And I don't think we're that far apart in age, but you get the guys
Yeah.
that I work with. Like, I could go out and have a beer with a lot of the guys that I work with, and they're ranging from the age of 65, working on retiring, to all the way back in their early 20s, and anywhere in between.
Yeah.
Just because
Yeah.
I believe I have that personality. There's I get along with anybody. As long as you're good to
Yeah.
me, I'm good to you.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And I think that's super small
you
town.
guys,
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that's where it comes from.
Well, like at my shop, it's a much like we've got KY, who's an older fella. He retired from working in the prisons and stuff. But for the regular guys, I mean, it's pretty much we're all within 5 to 6 years of each other, so we have that kind of core there.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, I think you look at like the dynamic here with Maggie and us. Maggie's our junior by a little bit, but I tell you right now,
what's the phrase? Working on 20 years.
Maggie walks into this room while we're doing this and tells us what to do. I'll tell you right now, me and Matty are shutting up and listening.
Oh, we listen. We understand that she knows
Yeah.
more about this shit than we do.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing.
But
I don't.
also, you guys know more about what you're talking about than
Yeah.
I do.
But there again, I think
Yeah.
and I
But that's
think
just
makes
like,
a small
I think
town.
that, you're talking about, but that's not really true.
But let me ask you this.
He's
Let me ask you
he's
this.
41 almost.
I'm not 41.
I said almost.
I just turned 40.
Okay, he's 40.
He's working on 41.
I'm
pushing 41.
I'm
Pushing
pushing
41, that's it.
I'm coming up on 38. You're coming up on 24.
Actually,
We really
in another
did.
month, I will be pushing.
Now,
40.
granted, the life experiences you had and the amount of fun that you had in between 18 and 25 was fun as hell, was it not?
We'll keep going.
I had a kid when I was 22,
And I'm
and that made me
getting
grow
married.
up a little bit
And you know what's
faster. But there
crazy?
was still a
Yeah.
time where I stopped doing that, and I got back to single life, and it was like, but I was still doing the father thing. The amount of time you get from 25 to 40, anywhere in that range. Tell me the life experiences you don't have just add up.
Oh, yeah.
I
I
mean,
will-
they add up
Oh,
to the
yeah.
point where now we're just talking. You
Yeah.
say you know more about what we're talking about. We don't. We just been through it, and we
Yeah.
have
Then
that
why
much
do I
more.
go to you for advice?
We have that in
Because
the
you can.
repertoire.
Because you
we've
have
lived
the
it.
experience.
Do you
lived
know
it.
what a?
You know more.
Are we gonna? I'm gonna ask this. Do you know what a Rolodex is?
Yeah.
That's
What-
our brain.
For, like, phone numbers?
Yeah, that's our brain.
Yeah, we call that our Outlook contacts now.
Yeah.
Put it this way, I can look at Maggie right now. Do you know your? Do you know your? Don't say it on the podcast. I know mine's still active. Do you know your parents' home phone number?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Do you
I
know-
do too.
Do you know all your friends' home phone numbers? I call them right now.
Yeah, me too.
They don't have home phone numbers anymore. But
I do.
I guarantee you,
I
if
can
you
call
ask
them
me,
right now.
if you ask me a
Jason
home phone,
Fenzel's parents, I can call his parents right
I'm
now.
not asking you
Rob
if you.
Weston?
I'm not
his
debating you.
Quit name
I'm
dropping when we
saying
don't
you.
have
I'm
releases
saying
signed.
if they don't have home lines anymore, but if you ask me to call them, I can pick up the phone and dial it right now.
Yeah.
It's in my brain.
Well, I was still in that generation.
Like
I mean,
my
we
kids,
didn't have cell phones.
my
till I
kids to
was
the
in
point
middle
now.
school.
Uh-huh.
I don't even know if my son knows my. Oh, he might know my number. My oldest one, but they don't know my number.
My wife the other day had to ask me for my phone.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I had to do
"What?"
that one time with Greg,
I'm like-
and then I memorized it very quick.
Like it's
Maggie,
in my
I'm
head.
talking like 2 days ago.
That's true. That's like 10 years.
Like 2 days ago. I'm like, what?
No,
I
I
asked
I
haven't.
can
for
whip
it.
your phone up. Shit.
I asked Greg
Because
for
you
his
used
phone
to-
number for an
you
emergency
You used to have that
contact.
phone on the wall
And
where
then
you
I
had to pick it up and dial a number.
Not with
Mm-hmm.
Kathy.
Well, I understand that, but you did.
But yeah,
That's
so
how
we have-
you remember
we have
stuff
the
like
training.
that.
We have that
Oh
training.
yeah. Well, I
Um,
still call my grandpa on a landline.
Yeah.
All my friends up until like
I think my
freshman years when we really
That's
got
what-
into
see,
cell
I-
phones.
I still call my mom's mom. I still call her on same landline from we were
Oh
growing
yeah.
up.
Well, my
Well,
great
my other
aunt, I
grandma's
call her
in,
every week.
Yeah,
I call
my other
her on
grandma's
her
got a cell
landline.
phone, so I call
Yeah.
her on that.
I don't have a grandparent alive anymore, so I can't call either. of them.
I got two grandmas now.
However, I can tell you that my parents, up until 1 or 2 years ago, still had their landline, and I could rattle off that phone number all day
Your
long.
parents
I
don't
could
have it now?
no.
Oh, my parents still do.
Nope.
I have a landline upstairs. I don't have a phone connected to it right now. But
I could tell
We
you
have-
Tony and Carly's landline, what there used to be. I can tell you what mine used to be. I can tell you what Courtney and Thad's used to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's just numbers that were programmed
Well,
in
that's
my
a
phone. I didn't
generational
even
thing.
have
That's
to.
not a small town thing. Well, it might be. No, I don't know if it's a small town thing.
I don't know. See,
I
I
think it's-
never lived in a big city.
I
so
guess
don't know.
yeah,
It's just
I
my
wouldn't know
experience
that.
level is this.
I would say it's a small town living thing, not just a
Mm-hmm.
Midwestern thing. Because I
And it
guarantee
could
you,
be,
like
yeah,
I
it could
said,
be, yeah.
as I said, I bring Steve in here. He's from West Virginia. Like he grew up in small town West Virginia. I guarantee
Yeah.
you have stuff like that, and I guarantee you were out in Utah, or even California. There's small towns up the north,
Yeah.
whatever out
Small
there.
town, not to be confused with Midwest.
Right. I think
Two
you.
very
I think you
different-
guarantee you have that in Chicago. I mean, if you grew up in Chicago, L.A., New York, Jacksonville, any of them, Atlanta, any of those big towns, how many phone numbers did you
Yeah.
literally want to
How many
remember?
area codes? How many
Well,
area codes?
Yeah.
You might have had, exactly.
You
Like,
go
like
to
you might have
Iowa
had
now.
one or two that you
Iowa
know,
has three.
just because that's what the
four.
people you were supposed to get in touch with.
4
Hold
area
on.
codes.
Well, we can say
563, 515,
563 319
641.
515 712. I think 712 takes over.
Where
Yeah.
are we going?
Talking about area codes of Iowa.
Across Iowa.
So yeah, there's literally like 5 area codes in Iowa.
I care about one.
The whole state.
Five,
And what's
six,
ironic is
319, just because it
515.
used to be 319.
319 used to be all the way over here.
Yeah.
We used to be 319.
We
And then it
Yeah.
ran out.
separated.
Well, yeah, we all used to be 641, and then I lived right on Highway 65, and so half of our town, or Zeering was 641, and then everything on the other side of the road. So that included the other 2 schools that were in my high school were all
Okay.
515. So we all kind of switched between those 2.
I
641
knew-
and 515.
I knew we got once, and I think this is a very small town. Very small town. And I forget where she lived. She was in this area, but her house sat on 2 area codes.
No kidding.
You would call one. Her house had 2 phone numbers. You would call one
Yeah.
end of the house to be this phone number, the other end of the house to be this phone.
That's nuts.
That's nuts.
But
yeah,
here's what's-
because they're
here's
all
what's crazy.
north-south strips.
So when I would call her from my folks' house, if I called this
It's
side
a-
of her house, it
yep.
was a local call.
The other is a long distance.
The other one was long distance.
Jesus, mother of God. Make sure you be on the north side of your house at 8
Right.
p.m. so I can give you a holler.
So this is a huge loaded question, but what made you guys decide that this, or small town in general, but this small town was where you were going to live for the rest of your life, or for now? I don't know if it is for the rest of your life, but how did you decide that this small town was what it was?
It's not for the rest of my life. It may be. I don't know about that. This is where I grew up.
Was it just an easy decision then?
It was to me. I was, and this may sound like a, I don't know,
Just like
corny
was it a
decision.
given?
This may
Yeah.
sound corny. Like I was proud to be from here.
I get that.
When you
I
talk
get that.
about, and
I love this answer right now.
I love to go into high school because I was like doing high school is when you got to be like
the big guy.
this is when you got to be the man,
Mhm.
right? And I was proud not to be a blue devil
Full
or an Indian or whatever.
Steamer.
I
Yeah.
was proud to be a River King.
Yeah.
I wore the black. I wore the red.
I was.
I
from
got
Clinton.
to. I mean, Clinton was where it was. We were the black and red. We were the River Kings. It's like this. And marching band was one of the things I know. Marching band was one of the things that made it fun for me because I believe in the 4 years that I was in high school, we got robbed many a time. But we dominated.
We're not getting into this.
I get that,
No.
but
Let's
but
not
you
get
go
into
to the
this.
But
show
you
and
were
watch the
proud.
reactions of the crowd.
But
If
then
they
again,
gauge-
I mean, we were going up.
You
we were
gauge
going
it
up
on-
every year.
you-
Ankeny.
you gauge it on crowd
Dowling,
reactions.
Yeah.
We
and West Des Moines.
dominated.
So you were proud to be
Everything.
From
And
Clinton.
Yeah.
Mr. Garb was a huge part of that because he demanded perfection, and we gave it to him every year.
See, I'm the total other end of that spectrum.
Yeah. How did
to,
you decide?
to that question?
Clinton, small town.
So,
yeah.
I enjoyed living here growing up, but I always thought there's more out there.
Mhm.
Of course,
Oh, yeah.
my dad being from New York, I have
Oh,
that
yeah.
like that part of my
Yeah.
DNA was just that was in my and buddy Niagara Falls, small town New York. I mean Niagara Falls, not much bigger than Clinton. But I was I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna explore, and I didn't get out a lot. I mean Cedar Rapids, Ames, that area.
Oh, I learned. I got out.
But I learned real quick.
I learned real quick. I wouldn't.
Real quick, Clinton, Iowa, cheap. It is inexpensive to live here. You can have one heck of a fun life in Clinton, Iowa, and it will not cost you an arm or leg. Like I remember, so I'll use just one example, and then we're gonna wrap this up because we got to get on to episode 2. But I remember my last couple years in Ames. I was smoking at the time. I would go into a gas station in Ames. This was years ago, and it was $4.50 for a pack of cigarettes. Now nowadays that seems cheap, but back then it was.
No.
Here's how cheap it is because I would come home for visits, and that same pack of cigarettes was $2.
Yeah, I remember. I think I was 22, 21.
This house in central Iowa would be worth triple what I paid for.
Easy.
Easily.
I think I was 21 when I started smoking at a poker game that I set up with 40 of my friends. That I just, I got too drunk and I ran out of cigars and
Yeah.
I was still winning. I ended up winning the second game. That pack of cigarettes that I started smoking, the pack of cigarettes that I started smoking when I started smoking was $2.20 something a pack.
Yeah, cheap.
I mean, that's how. I mean, it was. I think the other thing that I want to say, it wasn't to me that it was cheap to live here. I think if you understand me, and Pete, you know me probably better than anybody, how important my family is to me.
Same way for me. This is home. Ultimately, this is home. Whether it's our family,
We're all here.
our friends, our parents' friends. I don't think you go into big cities and
It's not that I couldn't leave those people either.
no. I think it's that.
But
I could walk up to you could walk up to your dad
I wouldn't
right
be
now.
the same person I was without.
Yeah, but you could walk up to your dad right now, hanging out with one of his buddies, and stroll right in that conversation, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
And his friend would look at you as an equal, part of that conversation. I get that all the time. So, the joys. I think that's to answer your question. I think that's really the unique thing about Clinton when you come around about for what everything we've been talking about. And I've lived in some small towns.
I was
It's
proud
not the
to be
same
here.
everywhere. I think Clinton's very unique because it's truly. I can hang out with my dad, and as my dad makes friends, and you're always making new friends. As he makes new friends, those friends are immediately, well, this is my son Peter, and they're like, oh, he's got this bar, you can go hang out, and they've been here.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's you don't get that in many other places. That's very small town, but uniquely. I think
well, I do like
not
the,
overall
I don't
uniquely,
like the
but-
fact, but I do understand that there are a lot of people that tend to look on the negative aspects of Clinton, and I guarantee there's negative aspects of every small town you live
Every
in.
small town.
Yeah.
There's
every
gonna,
town.
There's
Yeah.
going to be the bad
I'm learning
element.
it
There's
over.
going to be the bad parts.
Mhm.
There's going to be shit that you don't like. I mean, for God's sakes, I'm not real happy with the way the street clearing thing is going at the moment because it took 2 weeks for my street to
Yeah.
get cleared, and I'm
not
out
gonna
there.
say your name, T, but you know who I'm talking
I'm
about.
out there plowing the street myself. It's like, bro, come on, let's go. Like, this is a little ridiculous. But at the same time, I'm proud to be from here because this is where my family's from.
Yeah, I think that's When you
From
break
my
down, that's-
grandparents, my great-grandparents on down.
This is who you are. It's where you're meant to be.
My mom grew up playing in my yard.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't want to say it's where I'm meant to be because I have plans. At some point,
I had
there's
plans.
and now that I've watched the show Yellowstone, up north could be a call.
Well,
I'm
at this moment in time,
Flagstaff,
this
Arizona,
is where we are all meant
somewhere
to
in
be.
Montana.
I'm staying.
Just-
I'm not packing up and moving again. I'm done.
I'm not saying I'm packing up and moving because I
No.
still have
I'm right here.
at least
Mhm.
12 years before my daughter
Oh, yeah.
graduates high school. My youngest daughter graduates high school. However, I'm comfortable in my own skin. The fact that I could walk out my front door, sit on my front porch, and not see a neighbor's house and be at beautiful peace. Like,
Yeah.
that's where I love
It's
it.
just peaceful.
I love, and I'm a
comfortable.
people person.
Mm-hmm.
Most people that know me will tell you that. But I love my own serenity at the same time.
Yeah.
So I don't ever want to say I'm going to be here for the rest of my life. One of the things that I do kick into my kids that my parents didn't kick into me because they were busy working and trying to instill, you need to get good grades, go to college, do that, find out what you're passionate about. If it doesn't lead you here, it doesn't lead you here. Go enjoy your life.
Mm-hmm.
Get out, have fun, explore. But make sure you're following your dream.
I think that's the beauty of this is that we are where we are supposed to be right now,
Yeah,
and that led us to a small town.
yeah. And I think if you grew, I think ultimately if you, for the most part, if you grow up in a small town, odds are you're gonna end up in some semblance of a small town,
Mm-hmm.
or you're gonna seek out that type of community. Or
There's
type
big
of
city
area.
people, there's small town people.
Yeah.
We happen to be small town
We're
people.
small town
Yeah.
people. I couldn't live in a big city. I
No,
couldn't do it.
nope. I did Cedar
I
Rapids,
did.
and that was.
I like people.
With it
I did,
ain't.
I also-
I did Iowa City.
Yeah.
I grew up in Iowa City. Well,
I think. No, you grew up in Clinton.
I lived in Iowa City. This is one of the things that I couldn't do in a big city. I lived in Iowa City for a semester when I went to college there, and that's when I'm like this. I'm not cut out for this.
So
I like people.
and
I'm
I
also
think
not opposed to murdering people if you keep pissing me off.
So I agree. So with that, because that's gonna kind of roll into Midwest live. So
I think it all tends.
I would
to be the
ask
same,
Matt
but
to rate his beer, but since I'm drinking it, I'm not gonna.
I'll give you a rating.
Like I'm a little bummed out.
Oh, I want to hear the rating, Matt.
0.
It's 0. It's not his cup of tea.
I try.
It's Pete's cup of tea.
I got-
Like I'm not dissing
Yeah.
Big
I gotta-
Grove.
Yeah, I gotta throw.
Oh,
Matt,
no.
I've
I
had
gotta
many
throw
beers
Maddie
from you
I gotta
that-
throw Maddie some curveballs.
that I love.
But like
It's
Matt says,
whatever.
that's-
That's not my taste buds in that beer. We wanted to fight like,
But there again, I think that's where it's
Ali and
it's,
Foreman.
There's a
That's
but
the
there's
beauty of beer, though. You find what you like. You
Yeah.
find what you don't.
and with Matt, doing with me, it's like I'm so much farther. I'm like, okay, I think this could be good. And again, I sometimes
Right.
I would say I'm shooting about 75%, doing pretty good. So
You're about in the 60s now. Stop picking up hazy
Alright.
double IPAs.
So I'm enjoying the hell out of this. So
Well,
guys, on
congratulations
that note,
for you.
we just want to say thank you so much for listening. We're going to close this one out and get ready for the next week of the wonderful recording.
I
I
myself wanted to say thank you. I've absolutely loved editing and uploading, and it's been so much fun, and I'm excited to change my path with this journey and see where that different path leads us.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. We're not losing Maggie. She's just changing gears a little bit.
So with that, Matt, what time do we upload on Fridays?
10 a.m.
What are we
Every-
upload on?
Friday morning. You do this to me all the time. I'm going to forget one. Facebook, YouTube, Buzzsprout, iTunes, and Spotify.
Got them all! Woo! Attaboy.
That's after that crap ass.
Make sure
series.
to.
What do you do?
You want to hit the like button? You want to do the subscribe button? Am I going to read this script? I mean, by now, you people, if you're listening,
You know.
you
Read
know you want to listen to us every Friday
Comment.
morning at 10 a.m. Whatever you're doing at 10 a.m. on Friday morning, you know that, oh my God, I should be listening to the Double BS podcast. Those guys are hilarious, and they talk about stuff I love. So hit the like button, hit the notification button, hit that little bell. That'll tell you, hey, new episode, ding ding, we're here.
Last thing we got, remember, Fan February.
Fan
We're
February.
doing 3 episodes. The last 3 episodes in February, we want to invite 3 special guests to come on and just be on the show. So if you're interested, let us know.
Yes, hit us up on the email, doublebspodcast at gmail.com. You can reach out to Petey. You can reach out to myself on Facebook. You can reach out to Maggie on Facebook.
No,
I'm sure
don't reach out to Maggie. She's taking a break.
She will at some point
She'll forward it to us.
forward it to us.
And
Like this.
actually,
I don't really care, but these guys will tell you what to do.
I'm gonna claim one of those Fan Fridays for myself. So there's only 2 slots left. Get your voice in.
Oh yeah!
And remember, on
I'm
Fan...
excited. What
Fan-
are we doing on Maggie's Fan Friday?
Well, no.
February.
Fan February is going to be... that's the beautiful part. We'll get into that question. Fan February is fan requests. So whatever they want to talk about, that's what we're going to talk about.
That's what I'm saying.
I get that.
You're gonna give me some time to think about it because I'm gonna come up with really some.
Okay,
something really
you were just claiming.
We have time.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm just claiming the date.
So if you'd like
Yes.
to come on, if you'd like to come on one of our February episodes,
There's 2 slots left.
there's 2 slots left.
We'd love to have it.
Pick a topic, pick a time, let us know.
Pick a beer.
Yeah, pick
Yeah.
a beer.
Pick a beer.
You know, we have to have one of these fan type things in like June, because when we get into the video aspect of it, where we can sit outside, enjoy a beer, enjoy the video backdrop, and a cigar or 2 while we're sitting there bullshitting like we
Make
do.
Maddie mad because when we go to video, we got to be stuck in studio mode. It doesn't even get to go outside.
Want to bet?
We'll figure it out.
I got
on
2
that note,
I got
guys,
2 garages. We'll figure out a studio.
There you go. Guys, on that, thank you so much as always. We love you. Thank you, Maddie, as always, for coming along the stream with me. And I'm going to end this with this. I'm going to end this with a toast to Miss Maggie. So thank you so much for your willingness to take us 2 idiots to the level we're at now. We wouldn't be here without you. And I am very much looking forward to your contributions in a different light moving forward.
Absolutely.
Yes, and God bless you for realizing that you can take the leashes off of us 2 morons and hope for the best.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks, guys. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.